Okay, so today we're going to be looking at percent proportion. We have been talking about percent proportion for the last couple of days, so let's just quickly review about some things that you need to know. So first and foremost, of course, we need the formula. So we need to know that part over whole is equal to percent over 100. We're going to be using this formula the whole time. So again, just like a regular proportion, that's how I would solve it. But this is exactly how it needs to be set up every single time. 100 will never change. Percent will be on top of 100, part over whole. We also need to know that this is similar to is over of, which again is my part, my whole, which is percent over 100. Okay, so those are the formulas that we need to know in order to solve a problem like this. Let's go ahead and continue, and let's look at how to solve it now. So how to solve a percent proportion. So we would solve this just like we normally would a regular proportion. So the same way where we can look for a relationship, reduce or simplify, divide to find the unit rate, or just simply cross multiply and divide, we can do the same thing on a percent proportion. Also, a good quick understanding, if they tell you what your fraction is, so if they say 20 boys out of 35 student total, what percent, we already have our fraction. So I could just simply go top in, bottom out, or reduce it down and turn that into a decimal and turn that into a percent. Anytime we're looking for my part and they give me my whole in a percent, I can just multiply those two numbers together. I can turn my percent into a decimal by just simply moving it over twice and then multiply it by my whole to get my part. So that's another little shortcut that you can also look at. Let's look at a couple of practice problems together. A school carnival sold 9 early admission tickets and 21 regular tickets. What percentage of the tickets sold were early admission? So this is a quick example, exactly what I was talking about. We're just looking for my part and my whole in this case to turn it into a percent, or we can set it up in a proportion. I'm going to quickly show you both ways. So in this case, we know that 9 were early admission. We know 21 were regular. So first of all, I need my total. So in order to find my total, I would just simply add them up. So make sure you know, whenever you're not giving your total, you have to add. So I'm going to go 9 plus my 21, and I get 30 tickets sold. So I know I had, there goes my whole amount right there. We're talking about early admission tickets, so this will be my part. And we know we're looking for what percent. So we know we're looking for the percent. Now let's set it up. So in this case, I'm going to go 9 over 30, which is equal to X percent, because I don't know my percent, I'm trying to find it, over 100. My 100 never changes. So we can do one or two things. We can look and reduce, we can divide, we can cross multiply and divide. There's several different ways. I'm going to go ahead and reduce, because I know that I can reduce 9 over 30 by 3, and that's going to give me 3 over 10. So now I have a new fraction. Right there I see a relationship, so I know that 10 times 10 will give me 100, 30 times 10 will give me 30%. Okay, another way to look at this, we have my fraction, so I can simply just use my fraction and go top in, bottom out. So in this case, top goes in, bottom goes out, or we can use my reduced one and do the same exact thing. So in this case, 0.0, and it goes in there 3 times. So turn it into a percent, 1, 2. And notice how I get the same exact answer. Let's go ahead, let's look at another one real quick. Same exact thing on this one. We're given a whole bunch of information, but we're not given my total. It said the table below shows the ranges of age of visitors for an art show. What percent, so we know we're looking for my percent, what percent of the visitors were less than 25 years or 26 years old? So first of all, let's figure out what my part, my whole, percent over 100. So we already know my 100 is not going to change. We're obviously looking for my percent because it says what percent. And then now I need my part and my whole. So in this case, to figure out my whole, I'm going to just add them up together. So in this case, that's 60 plus 5. That gives me 32. 32 plus 8. That gives me 40. 40 plus my 60, that gives me 100. And then from there, I'm going to just count the ones that are less than 26. So 20, 28, and I get 33. So 33 over 100 should give me 33. Moving on. 15% of the apple orchard are red delicious apple trees. The orchard has 36 red delicious apple trees. How many trees are in the orchard? So in this case, again, let's identify what we know first. My 100 does not change. Are we given a percent? Yes, we are. We know that 15% of the apples are red delicious. The orchard has how many total trees? It has 36 trees. So therefore, we're trying to figure out, reverse. So we know that there are 36 red orchards, and we're trying to figure out how many trees are in the orchard. So we want to know what my total is that we have in the orchard. In this case, I can take my, let's do cross multiply. So we can do the cross multiply and divide. So I would multiply those two and divide. That's one way. We can reduce this by 5. So that gives me 3 over 20. And then I see a relationship. So that's another way. So 3 times 12 is going to give me 36. So I will go 20 times 12. 20 times 12, 0, 4, 0, 0, 2, 240. So 240 would be my answer, J. Let's look at one more, and then let me know if you have any practice questions or questions about it, and I'll leave you a few to practice on independently by yourself. Let's look at this one, and then, like I say, I'll leave you a couple of practice problems. Carla has a new beaded necklace. 8 out of the 20 beads on the necklace are blue. What percentage? So we already know we're looking for my percentage of the beads on Carla's neck are blue. So first, let's write down my formula. Part over whole, percent over 100. Okay? Again, I'm looking for my percent, so that'll be my X over my 100. And we know that 8 out of 20. So the same way we looked at it in problem number 1, we can really just take my fraction and top in, bottom out. We know that 20 goes into 80. Four times. I have my decimal, 1, 2, and there goes my percent. But let's check my answer by doing it in a proportion way. I see a relationship, so I know that 20 times 5 will give me 100. So 8 times 5 gives me 40. Try this one independently.